The Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall saga could very well come to an end. The fight has been delayed long enough. And there is a chance that the head honcho, Dana White, changes his mind and pits the English against another contender for the undisputed title. With the recent announcement of UFC France, there are speculations that maybe former interim champion Ciryl Gane will get the shot. UFC legend Chael Sonnen recently shared an opinion, speculating that Dana White may not have gone too overboard with Jones' demand. In fact, the American gangster believes the UFC CEO may have presented Jon Jones with $12 million to take the fight against Tom Aspinall. However, it's all just pure speculation. But in the wake of the interim champion's claim that he's moved on from Jones, things are looking uncertain. Maybe the undisputed champion could just be playing hardball with White. If Dana White happens to deviate from the Jon Jones vs. Tom Aspinall fight, Sonnen claims Bones could avoid getting embarrassed with the snub. How? Since it doesn't look like Jones is accepting White's offer. The Hall of Fame legend claims that the simple move to avoid embarrassment and assert his control over the heavyweight title situation is by relinquishing the undisputed title for good. I think, if Jon was to play this, he would play it all the way. And to play it all the way would be, if they moved on from you, if they book Tom vs. Ciryl, and they're going to do it for the world title. And they're going to do it at the Mecca. Chael Sonnen stated on his YouTube channel. If those things happen, you would not let them have their press conference. You would spoil it. How do you do that? You relinquish the belt. Real simple. I'm done, and it was my idea. Recently, Jon Jones spoke more cautiously about the Tom Aspinall fight during a seminar in Thailand. According to Chael Sonnen, he tried to create the narrative that he was in control of the whole situation. However, the American gangster doesn't believe that his fight against the interim champion is off the cards just yet. Jon is doing interviews now. So that if this card gets pulled, he can look as though, no, I was part of it and I was in on it. He's doing interviews trying to feather that nest. I don't think we're in that spot. I think it's going to be Tom vs. Jones, Sonnen added. Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall made some massive claims about Jon Jones' future as well. And, as far as he is concerned, the consensus is that UFC GOAT's career is over. When Jon Jones claimed that he and Tom Aspinall agreed to the terms set during their negotiations with the UFC, fans started to believe that perhaps the fight would happen after all. However, the Manchester native completely shut that down. Instead, Aspinall claimed that Jones hung up his gloves. And guess what? He now has a date for his next fight. But it's for the UFC to announce. Nah, man, Jon's retired. What are we talking about, guys? The guy is living his best life. He's had a fantastic career, we all know. I want to say God bless him moving forward, and with what he does with his life and his career. We move on, Tom Aspinall stated in a recent edition of the Good Guy/Bad Guy show. He further added, "I'll tell you something, I've got a date and a location." Well, what does Jon Jones do if hardballing the UFC for substantial pay for the Tom Aspinall fight doesn't work out? Well, Chael Sonnen has presented an option worth considering. But he's unlikely to do that. In the meantime, are you excited or bored of the narrative behind this? Will it? Won't it title unification matchup? Sound off in the comments.